Good morning to everybody. Welcome to this last session of the day, last session of the conference. We will be discussing a phenomenon of negative prices, which is an increasingly prevalent phenomenon in Europe. We were discussing with our colleagues in the morning session today that maybe it's not such a relevant topic here in Oman or in GCC area. But if I could share a personal story, my experience in regulation started in 2008. And at the time, as a junior mathematician and economist in the regulator, I was given the task of drafting a feed-in tariff methodology for wind. Because at the time also the expectation of renewables ever developing at a massive scale in 2008 was only an ambitious dream. And yet here we are in 2025 and we are talking about negative prices already. So in this session, do I have a pointer or somebody can move the slides? Goga?
Is there a
Try
pointer?
a button. Maybe this one? Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll be discussing about the rise of solar and increasing prevalence of negative prices and possibility to also review support schemes. A few words about Optima. We're an economics and energy advisory practice based in Pristina, established in 2013. We've been active in more than 20 countries. Our niche areas of expertise are economic regulation and electricity pricing and renewable energy support schemes, where we do quite a lot of capacity building on that field as well, and including here in Oman, where we cooperated with ERRA. And it's such a great pleasure to be back in Oman and to reconnect with colleagues from OPWP, OETC, APSR, with whom we have had the pleasure of working in the past. So I think this diagram is not new to any of you. We see that renewables are coming in very strongly. Increased participation, of course, in our energy sectors, which is great because we need renewables to drive our energy transition. In case of Europe, they are having let's say, an unwanted impact on the prices of the day-ahead markets. Renewables, as we know, they have high fixed costs, a very low variable cost. In Europe, we are pricing the commodity at the marginal cost clearing price. So because they have very low marginal costs, they are the ones that go first in the merit order curve, pushing the supply curve to the right, and then, as a result, reducing the prices. And as a result, also, we have this very high volatility in the levels of the prices within the day, where we have negative prices. This is a week ago, on the 27th of April, which was a Sunday, relatively sunny day, negative price of more than 266 euros per megawatt hour in Belgium, for instance. And the issue is that the problem is getting worse. So in the diagram on the left, you will see the number of hours with negative prices in 2020 on the leftmost side. So 4 hours, for example, in Finland, no hours of negative prices in Spain or in Portugal. And then in 2024, we have already more than 829 hours of negative prices in Finland alone. And the problem is getting worse already this year. This is up to November 2024. Already this year, we can see that there are already more than 900 hours of negative prices in Finland. And with that is coming also increased renewable curtailment. We see that curtailment is becoming increasingly an issue. And this is something that obviously needs to be addressed. Energy that is curtailed either needs to be paid, or if it's not paid, it will be reflected somehow in the strike prices that the renewable energy producers provide. On the left table in 2030, you will see the percentage of energy that is likely to be curtailed according to this ENTSO-E report. So we're talking about, in some extreme cases, in the 30% curtailment of energy. So you may imagine technology where we invest. You have 20-30% capacity factor, and on top of that, we have to curtail about 30% of the production. So obviously something that needs to be addressed. And this comes now with reduced solar capture rates. So we see that the solar capture rate or the ratio of solar capture price relative to the average price on the day-ahead market is also falling. And it is due to a plethora of reasons, a combination of reasons. We have high renewables availability during favorable weather conditions. In Europe, when the sun is shining, it's more or less shining across the continent. Low demand in times of high renewables. Support schemes mitigating market exposure. It will be a point of our discussion today. And of course, grid congestion. We spoke about it yesterday. It's an important topic. We won't spend so much attention on it in this session, but obviously it's a very, very important issue. No transition without transmission has become the buzzword of conferences all across Europe, I think, over the past couple of years. So it's definitely something that needs to be addressed. It's very easy to confuse this, that it's a problem of renewables. It's definitely not. We need renewables to drive forward our energy transition. What we need is also an enabling environment, resilient infrastructure networks that are able to accommodate increasing levels of renewables. It does provide, there are opportunities for flexibility. This is a report in 2023 by the Pentalateral Energy Forum countries, and we see that in terms of daily flexibility on the left side, pump hydro storage and electric vehicles, as expected, will play a very significant role. On the regulatory front, we ought to be thinking about measures that can be undertaken on the tariff structures and tariff designs. So potentially moving towards tariff structures that allow a more close following of the volatility of the market prices, so moving away from fixed tariffs, considering at least static time of use or in some cases dynamic time of use. It's a concept that is being considered across regulators. Potentially also thinking about the future support schemes in a manner that is predictable, in a manner that is inclusive and non-intrusive to the general predictable regulatory framework and environment that we have been having. So we do have the let's say, classical feed-in tariff support over the 2000s. Paul mentioned in his opening remarks, there's legacy contracts there. Future support schemes and existing ones are going towards two-sided CFDs. So we ought to think about, is there a way we can make these more efficient? And on the prosumer side, perhaps, moving away from net metering schemes towards more net billing to encourage self-consumption to the greatest extent possible. There's already an array of measures that is being considered at European level, but also among different jurisdictions where the matter is relevant. So we have the 2022 state aid guidelines that indicate that the aid provided must be designed to prevent any undue distortion to the efficient function of the markets, and in particular, that beneficiaries should not be incentivized to offer output below their marginal cost, and that they should not receive support in times where the market value of the production is negative. And we see that even across EU and other jurisdictions, there are measures that are being undertaken to address the issue. So to discuss this topic, we have a fantastic panel with me today. Mr. Ivan Fouchot is joining us from the Energy Regulatory Commission of France. Dr. Nadia Hortzman, welcome, Dr. Nadia, joining us from the Bundesnetzagentur and the Council of European Energy Regulators. Welcome. And Dr. Harald Preudel is joining us from E-Control. And what we'll be discussing is some fundamental questions. Does the current situation impact investments required to drive the energy transition? Are negative prices on the day-ahead market, we're speaking again on the day-ahead market, an issue that regulators must address, and what tools do we have available to address them? If we speak about increased exposure to market prices, how will this then impact strike prices and investment incentives, and how does this impact our targets to achieve the goals of the energy transition? How can we unlock the system's full flexibility potential? And lastly, what does an enabling regulatory environment for short and long-term storage look like? Are price spreads alone, again, speaking about the day-ahead market, sufficient to incentivize flexibility investments? And how might the expectation of narrowing price spreads influence investment decisions? So we have an exciting panel ahead of us. With that, I'll give the floor to Mr. Ivan Fouchou, and we'll continue with the first presentation. Thank you very much.